Hi and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. It's time to get another section of my Heaven and Earth design completed. So I am on this sort of middle section. It's not looking as bitty as some of my other sections have been, which is actually quite nice. I feel like I've had quite a lot of confetti sections, so I'm about due for a section that should take a little bit less to get completed. Look at that. I like it when it all lights up in green and I can get a chunk of some of this done. I feel like it helps it to progress a little bit quicker when you're not tipping diamonds in and out. But I hope you're all well and I've had a really good week so far. Just trying to figure out where I was up to then before the next little bit. I do have a couple of different shades of this 300 in here, but I'm just rolling with it. I've had a couple of shades in some of the other sections I've done. By the time it's completed, I really can't tell the difference. It doesn't look like it should have been a different shade. So I'm going with the flow with that one. They're still brown, they're still very close. I also have a little divot in the canvas here at the moment. It seems to be where it's been stored with a little bit of an air bubble. So yeah, it's had a little bit of an air bubble in it, which I have run my craft knife over in a few different directions to get rid of. And it's not the actual glue lifting up from the canvas or anything like that. It is flat. I think it is just the amount of time it's been like that. So I'm hoping that a few more sections done and a little bit more rolling over the top of it with my little roller will make it lie flat. It's the one thing that double-sided tape is not quite as forgiving on as you'll find poured glue is really forgiving on any sort of creases or things like that that may happen on the canvas. Double-sided tape seems to take a bit longer to forget things, but it will all flatten out eventually, just given a bit more time. It has been rolled up for quite a few years, this canvas, for quite a while. But yeah, it looks like we're on a main body of a tree trunk here, which is good. So, comments, questions. It is a quicker section, so I do want to try and make sure that I can get through as many comments and questions and things as I can. And these are all comments and questions that have previously been left on Heaven and Earth Design WIP Chats. Any comments left on earlier WIP Chats, I answer on the Sunday WIP Chat. But Anne said happy birthday to me. It was my birthday the day I last put up, was it? Yeah, the day I last put up the Heaven and Earth design was my birthday. So thank you very much, Anne. That's in the wrong place. Oh, I have got tweezers. I remember seeing the tweezers on the table before. I thought hubby had used them, but if he has, he's actually put them back. So, credit to him for that one. She says she's taken the time, and so she's taken the time to learn how to use an app that is similar to Pattern Keeper. She's doing a free pattern, which is a pattern of a ship in a bottle. So there is quite a few free patterns out there that you can get, including on Heaven and Earth Design, that if you like the images, then they can be sort of a fun place to start. Though to be fair, the price for the patterns from Heaven and Earth Design, I do not think are unreasonable in any way. So you've always got the option of just going through and picking the one that you like the best. But I hope you're enjoying it, Anne. Cat Lady, she says, Welsh has always caused problems. She said it's the lack of vowels and completely different sounds made by various letters, such as when it's DD or TH. I'm not even going to say what they're supposed to be because I definitely don't know Welsh enough. But I know there is different ways they say the letters that make a huge difference in relation to words that you think you can sound out, but you can't. I still like the language though. She also says she's now worked 48% of her Heaven and Earth Design project, but she is now working on other projects alongside it. Well, hopefully you will hit that nice little 50% mark before you know it, even if you are working in with other things. 50% is a really nice milestone to hit. I'm now working towards hitting 80%, and that's the complete 80% done. This year I've only been working on 50% of it, so it'll be 30% of my goal for this year, but 80% in total. There has been a few days, it's been a very, very busy shop month this month, with last month's launch and with restocks of the diamond paintings. So there have been quite a few mornings when I've not had the time to be able to ensure I got my section done. There's also quite a few bank holidays this month, which I try and take those. I might film on those days, and I might answer emails because not every country knows it's a bank holiday in the UK. But I don't tend to get my Heaven and Earth Design done on bank holidays either. They're a bit like a weekend, unless I'm doing a video. Doesn't tend to get done. So I do feel like things have slowed with my Heaven and Earth Design, but they've not stopped. I don't have any plans to stop, and what helps with that is allowing myself those days or weeks of slow. So when it has been busy, a lot of the time it's because I just want to ensure that I can get US orders out the same day before my cut-off. And yeah, I wouldn't want to change that. But I sometimes, even when I get everything done, I then don't always feel as though I can go back to it in the afternoon. There's always some other job that's loitering. So yeah, there might be the odd few days that are missed, but I try and do it as many days as I can, ensure that it gets done. So I'm still making progress throughout the month of May, but it may well be July, say, by the time it's finished, where I think if I worked out the sections, I think if I did do it every single day, it could have got finished in June. But yeah, I think it may end up going to July, but that's fine because I will be doing the last section on camera anyway. My plan has always been to do the last section with you guys, so it saves me finishing it in the middle of June Waffle and then not doing anything on it for a couple of weeks until it got to the middle of July. Let me have a look. So this is about a week. It is currently, I am actually filming this on bank holiday, the 1st of May. So, maybe it would have hit, maybe I've already hit the point it'll hit July. I've actually done that one, I've not marked it off. But if we say there's 4 weeks in a month, though there is 5, it is now already hitting end of June, beginning of July. If I get 5 done, some weeks I get 6 done because I do film this video on a weekend, so that ends up being a 6th day where I do the heaven and earth design. But maybe I can time it right and it can be like a heaven and earth design or WIP and Chat finale in July. Because I do reckon I will speed up possibly when I get nearer the end. I suppose it depends how busy I am. But I'm still enjoying doing it, which is the main thing. Liking seeing the progress. Love a day like this one where it's a little bit more speedy. I'm able to get through it a little bit quicker because it's a lot more of, you know, bulk amounts of colours and not just single ones here and there. Definitely helps me feel like I'm getting somewhere. But I obviously do need to update my charts. But let's get those. Oh, I've marked off a black that I keep doing that. I keep catching it with my finger. And it's not actually one I've done, but I went and marked it fully. Okay, let's try that. That's back to the amount I've done. Darcy said thank you for answering her question about the heaven and earth design labels. She says she wasn't sure it would be that easy to do the labels. You're more than welcome. Ask away with your questions. I can't always help, but quite often even just me reading them out, people will give us answers so that we can have a discussion on it, and I can report back a WIP and Chat or 2 later with their responses. I feel like it's a little bit of chatter, a little bit of learning, all the rest of it. It makes it fun. So yeah, feel free. Anybody's got any questions, big or small, ask away, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. And if I don't know, I will state that, and then others can chip in and we can figure it out together. Quite a lot of black in this one, but I've still got over 5,000 black to do on this chart, so I think I've still got quite a bit more to go, keeping me busy. Jackie, she said thanks for making a comment about the missing comments. She said this has been happening to her too, and she thought it was because her mobile had just had an update. She said, however, if you're suffering problems, she said it might be a Facebook problem instead. It's YouTube that I've been missing the comments. I know sometimes on Facebook, depending on what it is, it tells you that it's sort of filtered out the most relevant. But then even if you change how you filter it, it won't let you see the rest. Maybe it's something to do with the person's profile who's commented. I don't quite know. Facebook is a law unto itself sometimes, it really is. It's just completely different. We just have no idea what on earth is going on any of it. Oh, I've hit 79% while I've been here. I think 80% will be getting to the end of the line. But we've hit around a number anyway. Let's get some 400s in here. Definitely on the browns today. Getting that tree in there. There is still a few scatterings though of other colours. I like hearing that click though when I fill in some little gaps. Just check I'm starting off on the right place. Get that little section done, and then I see this as all one section. Fiddling all the way up. Mysterious Days. She says, hi Rebecca. She says she decided to go to my Heaven and Earth Design playlist and started from the very beginning. She said watching them as sort of background noise. She said, and it's so odd but cool, she said, to see the changes. She said the spider gave me quite a jump scare. She said though, she said she'd have screamed and ran away. Yeah, so my Heaven and Earth Design playlist, of course, started probably about 3 years ago with me working on my Heaven and Earth Design. I was actually, while it was the same sort of table, I was actually in a different orientation in my craft room when I started it. I started it on paper. Then I went to a PDF reader and was using that before eventually finding Pattern Keeper, which has been a game changer and a lifesaver. So it is, that playlist is quite the epic journey. It's also the gathering of a load of diamonds, a blank canvas. Yeah, it's a whole 3-year journey that wanes off a little bit on occasion time frame wise, so it's a bit more spaced out. Not that you'd notice watching the playlist, because of course that time has passed now. But yeah, there's quite a few different changes in that playlist, and it can be quite fun to watch, especially if you do want some sort of company while diamond painting. Can always look back on how I started doing this Heaven and Earth Design. Just checking I was getting the right place with those. Sometimes when you start getting too many browns, it can get a little bit confusing as to where you're up to. And I've marked that one, but I've not actually done it. Let's try putting the diamond there. There we go. What are we on? 264. So we're only at 400 and we're over a third of the way in colours, not quite halfway on the stitches, but I don't think it'll be too much longer until we are. Mysterious Days said it is inspiring her to make it a goal to do one of these Heaven and Earth designs one day. She said, but it's not really feasible for her currently. She said, hopefully soon. She says, maybe next year, though that is dependent on a bunch of things. She said it's looking lovely and she can't wait to see it finished. It's going to be a good one to see finish, this one. I think I'm going to have to do one of those. What do people do? Montage. I might have to play some music and do a montage slow pan over the full length of this when it's finished. I'll have to make sure I put it on my list for when for the time when Luna goes to the groomers and I can lay it out on the floor of the conservatory, which is probably the only floor that I have that I could lay it all out on, and just do a really slow pan over the whole thing so that you can see everything in detail. And you can all see if any diamonds have popped off and any are missing. And you can let me know. Before I figure out how on earth I may be able to mount this on something. and check whether it's going to fit at the top of my stairs. That's going to be something epic for me to do for the summer. Right. I try and only tip a few of these out. I have 2 different shades in this pot as well, but one of them is really, really too dark, like it's not the right colour. So I try to only tip a few out so that I can actually start getting rid of the others. So those can go back in, but then all those are too dark. And I'm filtering them out little bit by little bit, getting rid of them. Right, have we got any number 6? Nope. How far are we going to jump now? You never know which symbols are going to be shoved in as just 1 or 2 to throw you for a loop. So I know on this section I'm clicking through a lot before I find a colour, just due to the fact that this is mainly the tree trunk. But you never know when it's going to shove a bit of orange in it, or a bit of yellow in it, or a bit of red in it. Just check that wasn't, because there's a couple up here that are just random single ones. Right, second case. 730, just a few of these greens. Jackie, she said, please can you start the line-free trays? So we have been asked for trays with no lines in them. Excuse me. That have got none of these in them for using for specials. She says in one special colour. She says so we know which one to grab out of our stack in a hurry. For the moment we are just going to do it in our white. Excuse me. So it will, in effect, if you've already got a white one, it could be the same. But with rhinestone diamonds, which people may use it for, so a line-free tray could be used for the special or off the canvas paintings that have different size diamonds that don't line up on the ridges. Or, for example, if you happen to have mixed a couple of colours and want to try and sort them out, it might be easier to do in a contained tray. So we have just decided at the moment to launch it in white, and it's because we think that it's the best colour for both of those diamonds. It's a pure white, so if you're splitting colours up that are very similar, they will be a lot easier to see, and rhinestones will be a lot easier to see. So yeah, we're actually just starting it in white. If it does prove to be hugely popular, then we may bring it out in other colours, but at the moment we're sticking with the one. Kim, she says your painting looks great. Thank you, Kim. She says you must be so excited to finish. After all that work, she says she can't wait to see the finished painting. Yes, I am very excited to finish. I feel like this one has been around for a while. It will definitely be an achievement when it's done. And I just can't wait to see all the detail again, or even just remind myself of some of the detail, especially further up on the tree. But I'm also still quite excited to see the detail further down that's yet to come alive, that's yet to be seen. I'm excited for that as well. Right, I'm over halfway on the diamonds. I have hit placing over 300. I was like, why is there not a gap there? I was too high up. It was too high up for what I actually needed to be for the pattern. I'm trying to get ahead of myself and do too many diamonds further up. But here's some sort of yellowy orangey shades coming in, and every now and then it throws in like just one bright orange. I did do that one. Try and make sure I've done them all and get myself my next comment lined up. Anne-Marie, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, that looks absolutely gorgeous. Thank you, Anne-Marie. It is definitely taking shape. Amanda, she says, you will definitely get spoilt by using tray towers for a couple of my paintings. I'm planning on using our tray storage for. Tray storage is on its way. At the moment I just have one. I need more, but at the moment I have one. So I will be turfing the trays with no diamonds in them out of it. But I'm going to use the tray storage for my June waffle. But I think once the June waffle is done, and once this painting is done, I'm going to use the trays for my other Heaven and Earth design, because it's only 15 colours. And then I can pull the colours down and not have to keep tipping them back into the trays. I am expecting to feel very spoiled though. In an ideal world, I would have a space where I could have tray towers up for every single kit. But if I did that, I wouldn't have any use for my dining table. But I can see in my future me using them, definitely for the events, for the waffles, for both the June waffle and the December advents. I can really see the use in having the tray towers set up in here. And then, yeah, maybe some other projects I will see if I can sneak them onto the table. She says there's only been one canvas recently that she didn't use tray towers for, and that was People's Princess, because it was a lot of colour blocking. So she was tipping a lot of diamonds into the tray and using them a lot before having to change them anyway. She says she's so glad that she has them for the painting that she's working on now. She's working on Diamond Art Club's Titania and Oberon. She says she has never worked on one with that much confetti. You imagine me trying to do this Heaven and Earth design with one. I think I'd spend more time looking for which tray was the right colour than I would being able to place it. But the amount of time, if I knew where they were, or maybe if I had a big rung of them in DMC order, I can imagine that I would potentially have saved so much time than what I do tipping them in and out the pot. I already save a lot of time by tipping a couple into the lid if I only have a few. Like now, there's only 4, so I tip them into the lid, and I feel that saves me time. But sometimes they don't want to go the right way up, and it can be more hassle than it's worth. But yeah, oh, for things that might happen in the future. Time will tell. Time will definitely tell. Right, we're going to have this one because this is a brown. My battery's going to need changing as well soon, so if it cuts me off mid-sentence, I do apologise. But I'm trying to make it last as long as I can before I charge, because I've got another one on charge at the moment already from one of the videos for earlier this week that I've just finished doing. It'll teach me to be talking so much. Right, see if I can get all these stars in. I also need to scroll on my comments as well. But let's get that section finished. Evie, she says, pretty. She says, by the way, would you ever have June waffle? Sorry about that. There we go. Battery went, as always. So let's start that comment again. Let me just get this brown into my tray. So Evie says, pretty. She said, by the way, she said, would you ever have June waffle as a diamond painting event like Drills and Chills? She says also June is her birthday, June the 1st. She says she'll be 24. Well, congratulations in advance for your birthday. I have had a quick look while I was changing the battery. I did have a quick look. Drills and Chills, I haven't looked into the full event. I haven't watched the full video because I do have a section of my Heaven and Earth design to finish. But they sort of seem to do a theme over the course of a couple of months. I'm not sure how sort of the participation and all the rest of it is. I didn't look at the whole thing. But their event is their event. That is separate to June Waffle. I have 2 events that I tend to run throughout the year. So I won't be copying their style in any way. I will be doing the June Waffle as I always have done in the past. If you mean the fact that there is giveaways and things like that in with it, I have done some giveaways mixed in with my December Advents before. I have done giveaways mixed in with other videos before. I am planning on doing some giveaways mixed in with this month's June Waffle, but that's not the main thing behind it. Like, that's a little perk that people will be able to get. I don't tend to go asking other companies to sponsor events. That's my personal choice. It's a lot of admin work. I sponsor giveaways. So I will provide things from giveaways. They may be from companies that I work with, but they tend to come from unboxings I've done, you know, for them or on their behalf. And I will give away those items or potentially items from my own shop. And that tends to be the way I do giveaways. Will there be some in June Waffle? Yes, there will. There will be giveaways in June Waffle. There quite often can be giveaways on other sort of events that I do throughout the year, or there can just be giveaways on random videos because I feel like it. We also do quite a lot that isn't necessarily public as such. We are often finding a subscriber or a Facebook member or something to give something a little extra to. Every now and then a situation arises. It feels like it's been every month so far this year, but every now and then a situation arises where we feel we can put a smile on somebody's face by sending them a little something. And we just do that. We just do that with no hoopla around it. Not hoopla. No announcement around it. It doesn't need to be. It's for the person that's being sent it. So yeah, if that's not answered your question, then by all means do let me know what sort of elements that you're wondering if it is or isn't something that's part of our June event. But the idea for the June waffle is very similar to the Advent. It's a matter of taking a little bit of time for yourself and the craft that you love each day throughout the month of June. You take part as and when you can. Some people will divide a painting up into less than 30 sections, knowing that they're busy. But the idea is you divide one painting into 30 sections, and I will be here to chit and chat to you every day throughout the month of June and keep you company while you complete your section on your painting. And yeah, it's really fun to see what everybody does and completes, and I really enjoy compiling. I do it more so in June Waffle. I didn't do it this December because I was on my way to Australia, but I really like to compile a little sort of slideshow of everybody's completions that they've completed throughout June. And yeah, it's a little bit of community fun where we all get a small section of a diamond painting done each day. It doesn't have to be a big one, though I have gone for a bigger one this year than I normally do, but maybe that will just mean I will be waffling on a video for longer each day while I get my sections completed. This colour is a good one for getting rid of some diamond. Getting these gaps filled in rather quickly now. Trish says that the Heaven and Earth design is looking great. Thank you so much, Trish. I'm really happy with how it's coming out. I have noticed that a bit further up the painting I have lost a couple of diamonds on the side, on the first row of the painting, but I decided I will just look at getting those finished up and filled in at the end, because I do roll this up every day. Diamonds facing out, but I do roll it up every single day to pop it away before it comes out the next day to do my next section. So it is going to take a bit of a bashing, unfortunately, and there is not much that I can do to avoid that. Susan, she says, Rebecca, she says, I can probably say that everybody loves this painting. Yeah, they do. I think Heaven and Earth Design have quite possibly sold a lot more patterns to this painting as well. It's like this little gem that was tucked on their website, not hidden, but tucked on their website, has definitely been brought to the forefront. But it is absolutely gorgeous. And I know there's quite a few people taking on the challenge, and I really don't blame them, because it is a really, really nice picture to work on, albeit a lot of colours and a lot of colour changing. But when you get a section like this one that doesn't hit anywhere near as many colours, it's kind of nice. Right, let's see where my next one is now. I feel like I'm definitely going to skip quite a few, so I am doing it quite fast. It's these ones I need to watch out for. There's some right at the tippy top. H. Knew I had that one. I find where they went. I moved the bottle when I had one that was empty and moved them all up. And I keep expecting it to be on the next row down every single time. But we've obviously got a bit of green working its way through here. Through this part of the tree. It's not that one, I think it's the next one. That's one of my little standalone ones up the top. And you get, especially when I'm doing this daily, I get to recognise a lot of the symbols. So these ones are all right at the end of my other case. This one is at the end of this case. And that one's at the end of my other case. So I think I'm going to be brave. I'm going to hop to 3371. Because in my case, this is about 4th from the end. And I think I'm going to be able to then do that one and then hop to the end of the last case. I'm going to give it a go. Right, let's get this done while I read the next comment. I do need to mark these off as I go though, because there's scatterings of others throughout and I don't want to get it wrong. Claire, she said she was watching my last post with the June Waffle painting. So this is the Splatterworks ribbon that I'm going to be doing for June Waffle. She said it was really close to her heart as they lost their grandpa last week to the sad disease, which is Alzheimer's. She says, thank you for supporting the charity for Alzheimer's and happy birthday. Well, I am definitely thinking of you, Claire. My nan also had Alzheimer's. I feel like we lost a bit of her quite a bit before, quite a bit before she did pass. So it is as soon as that was one of the charities. I mean, to be fair, they have picked 2 amazing charities to donate to. And I think most people, if not all people, will know somebody affected by one or the other. Because the charity ribbons are for Alzheimer's research and or cancer research. The proceeds are going towards. So I think they have picked 2 extremely good charities to go towards. But yeah, I had to have the Alzheimer's one, in the fact that that has affected my family just a little bit more. Though they have both affected my family, but that one a bit more. But yeah. Claire did, sorry, I was just reading the other comments. Somebody has, of course, passed their thoughts and prayers on to Claire. But she did say they weren't ready for the heartache that the piece brought them, but knowing he isn't confused anymore helps. And yeah, that is the biggest thing in how it affects the person who has the disease. It can be very, very confusing time for them, and it's not nice to watch. Lisa, she said, this painting is looking more gorgeous. She said, the more that you get done. She says, wow. She said she would also be interested to see how a tray with no lines would work for special shaped drills. Well, the announcement for the new shop items is this weekend. And it will include, with the launch a week on Friday, but it will also include the new tray with no lines. There may be a slight delay on your order if we have underestimated how many people want one while we print them to order. But yeah, we listen everywhere that we can. And anything that we can implement that people want, we do try to. So yeah, I'm rather excited. I might end up doing a special diamond painting or 2 just so that I can give them a go myself. But I think even if I mix up 2 colours, like I dropped a load with Cosmic, I dropped a load of AB diamonds. but being able to sort them out and slide them across the tray into sections, I'm kind of looking forward to be able to do that as well. Section them up. Maybe try and hold some of them in the tray while I tip the others out. Right, that's the other single one that I want. I've just dropped the lid. It's landed in a load of toolkits. Alaya says she's doing her first full-size square painting and she's loving it. Awesome. I like squares and rounds. I flip between the two. I find you find one that you love more at the beginning of diamond painting, but then the more and more you diamond paint, provided you don't hate doing squares or can't do squares, I find that the more and more that you diamond paint, the more you become, or the longer you diamond paint, the more you become happy to flip between the two, to flip between squares and rounds and appreciate the niceness of a square painting against a round painting and appreciate the differences. I love it when I have one of each kitted up. I've done a lot of square recently. My decision wheel has chosen a lot of square, or I've chosen square ones for other reasons. And yeah, I feel like having one round and one square is definitely a really nice place to be with them. They're so much fun. Crystal, she says, hello Rebecca. She says she's heard me talk about not moving my diamonds to the big case. She says she does have a suggestion. She said, take the bottles out of my smaller cases and replace them with the bottles. She said, just switch the bottles. She said she may have made this comment before. She said, but she can't be sure. I did think about that. And you know, there's only one reason that I'm not doing that. And it may seem sad. It probably is a little bit sad. But it's because it's a new case with new bottles. I kind of don't want to put older bottles in it at the moment. I kind of want to use it as a shiny new case before I start switching bottles. Is that a bad thing? Is that a sad thing? And that's really the only reason I've not done it. That, and I know I'm going to be finished this so soon. You know, yes, it's still a couple of months and I kit up for a painting that takes less than a month to do. I have done that one, by the way. It just hasn't picked it up, but it has had a diamond put in it. But yeah, it's purely because it's new and shiny is the reason I'm not doing it. I know, it's bad. It's bad. She also said, she's also left another comment. She said to say thank you. She said your WIP and Waffle has been helping her deal with her hubby's brain surgery. She said honestly it helps her to take her mind off it, even if just for a few minutes at a time. Well, sending all the best wishes to you and your hubby. I can imagine it's hard for both of you for some of the same and different reasons. And I'm glad I can help you just a little bit. Though, this was a quicker WIP and Waffle. So I do kind of apologise if this hasn't helped as much. Because it's not longer. But I think last Sunday's was longer. So, but look at that. See, the blossom, as much as I moan about the blossom, how flipping awesome does it look? How awesome. And it's that step back that makes it look awesome, because when I look at it on the desk, while it looks good, it doesn't look as good as it looks in that viewfinder of that camera. And even that bit that I've just done, where I've only really put 2 pink diamonds down, that still looks so awesome and so much more like a tree than it did when I was doing it. But yeah, that is another Heaven and Earth design section done. Let me actually update this with the last one that I did and this one. I am on 79.28%, and I have 2 more to go until I get to the 800 mark, where hopefully I'll see some numbers disappearing. But thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll speak to you all again soon.